Alright, so here we go again. I am doing assignment 23, part 1, reteaching. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the graph that they have for number 3. So when I looked at the graph, they have the point 2, so that's 2, 5. So this is the x direction, that's the y direction once again. X is left, right, and y is up, down. So it's x I move right 2, and then I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right there, that's the point 2, 5. And then I'm going to do the point 3, 1. So that means 3 in the x direction and up 1. There it is. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect those dots. And that's really a bad line, but that's a line through there. There it is. So if excuse me, what I really want to do then is what it's asking me to do is to find the slope. So to find the slope is defined as rise, and rise is how you move up, down, over the run, and the run is how you move right, left, up. So I'm going to say that the slope actually is equal to, and I'm draw a little triangle, I'm going to say, and that triangle means the change in, so it's the change in the y direction over the change in the x direction. So that's going to be the change in the y, so I'm going to say that that's 5 minus 1. So that's, if I go ahead and come back over here, and I choose a different color for a second, and there's my these are my y's, so I subtracted those, because if I wanted the change from 5 to 1, I would subtract those 2 points. And then I'm going to go ahead and say that over the change in x, so this time, let's see, change in x, so those are my x values, so I took 5 minus 1, so now I'm going to take change in x, which is going to be 2 minus 3, and that's going to give me 4 over negative 1. And if you notice, to go from this point here, right, I'd go down 4. So I could say that that is, negative 4 over positive 1. So that means I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. So I went down 4 and over 1 in the positive direction to get from this point, from the point 2, 5 to the point 3, 1. And as I look at my graph and I read it, you can see that it is in fact sloping down. So that means that I have a negative slope. So as I look at my graph from left to right, you'll notice that the graph is in fact, so as I look at it this way, I see that it's headed in the downward direction. And that is the answer to 3. Alright, so now I'm going to do assignment 23, part 1, number 5. So I'm going to find the slope of a vertical line. So I've drawn this beautiful vertical line right here. And now I'm going to choose 2 points on it. So anytime I need to find a slope, I need 2 points. So I'm just going to choose those 2 points. This point here in the x direction, I moved 3. And in the y direction, I moved 3. So that point right there is 3, 3. And this one here in the x direction, I moved 3. And in the y direction, I moved a minus 4. So there we go. So once again, our slope, and I'm going to write it like this, is the change in y over the change in x. So for us, right, that's going to mean the following. Let's see, I'll use pretty blue. The change in y, so there's 1y, there's my second y, so I'm going to say that's 3 minus, and then that's a negative 4, so it's 3 minus negative 4 over, and then I'm going to come over here, different color here, I'll use lavender because that's pretty, and I'm going to do my change in x, so that's going to be, those are my x's. So this is, I'm going to say x1, and this was my y1, and this is my x2, and that's my y2. So as long as I used y1, I made this, right? This was y1 minus y2. So down here we're going to say x1 minus x2. So that's going to give us 3 minus 3. And when we simplify that, 3 minus negative 4 is a positive 7 over 3 minus 3 is 0. Well, that's going to be equal to, we're going to say that that's undefined. Okay, because if I had 7 divided by 0 and I said that was 0, that would be the same thing as saying, 0 times 0 is equal to 7. And since that's not true, I cannot say that 7 times 0 is equal to 0. So it's not equal to anything. There is no number that I can multiply by 0 and get 7. So I say the slope is undefined. Therefore, the slope of that every vertical line is always going to be undefined. All right, we'll work a little bit more on that on most days. All right, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm done with A23. All right, and finally, we're going to take A23 part 2 this time, which is in the green book, page 228. I'm going to do number 12. So you're given the equation negative 2y minus 2x is equal to 4, and you want to solve it in terms of y. So I rewrote it, and y is now in beautiful red, so we can see what happens to it as we try to isolate that variable. So I'll draw a line right through here to keep me straight, and then I want y by itself, so the first thing I'm going to do is to get rid of that 2x. I'm going to add 2x to both sides of my equation. And that's going to give me negative 2. And let's go ahead and get the red pen so we can keep our y always red. And then blue. There we go. And then this is going to give us those cancel. I get plus 0 is equal to 2x plus 4. So that's going to give us a negative 2, and once again, y, and that's what we want to isolate, is equal to 2x plus 4. So I can see the only thing holding me back at this point is that negative 2. I'm multiplying that negative 2 by y, so to get rid of that negative 2 that I'm multiplying y with, I'm going to divide every single term by a negative 2. And so that's going to give us, on this side here, I have 2 divided by negative 2, so that's a negative 1x. 4 divided by negative 2 is a negative 2. And then my 2's here will cancel just like I wanted them to. And I have, in fact, isolated my y. And I can just turn around now and rewrite that equation a little bit clearer as y is equal to negative x minus 2. So I just took the negative 1x and called that, multiplied through, and that gave me a negative x. And plus negative 2 gave me a minus 2. And that is the end of that problem.